The title says it all. The WWE just isn't fun for me anymore. And because of that, it's time DaMan makes a change. I appear here as you guys at this time with no graphic, no background. This isn't, well, we're going to talk a few topics about that's happened recently with wrestling. And truth be told, it's a little sad. I personally feel wrestling, especially the WWE right now, it's just a very depressing product to watch. And, you know, I've been watching wrestling full time since 2013. Well, first off, check the live chat really quick before I get to the air. No, I am not quitting YouTube. This is not me saying farewell to YouTube. This is just me. I'm going to say till the end to mention what the changes are. But there's just some things that's going to have to change on this channel for me. It's just come to that point. Let me first start off by saying this. When I lost my channel, which was 2 summers ago, when I lost my channel due to that community guideline strike I got for one of my Wolfenstein Let's Plays, I really felt like I lost something. I was really down, and I just missed this. Like, yes, I'm one of the few YouTubers who does like a lot of content that does not do it for money. I do not do YouTube for money right now. I just do it for fun. I started this channel 2012, and it was just me, and most of my videos from before my first Wolfenstein 3D Let's Play don't even exist. It was just me doing some very random crap on this channel just for the fun of it. Because, you know, I had an interest in making videos and playing around with editing softwares, and I just wanted to just goof around and have fun. And of course, you know, I discovered more things like, you know, like screen recordings and my video games. And, you know, my biggest thing was Wolfenstein Let's Plays. And then in 2013, when I made some new friends and became a fan of wrestling, I started watching wrestling. You know, when I got access to more softwares for video editing, get home, you know, I started doing like the match cards. Like my WrestleMania 31 printed match card is the first ever match card I ever did, with a very basic editing software. Now I use Adobe Premiere Pro for all my editing. And then, of course, you know, in 2015 it was when I started, you know, seeing more YouTube content, you know, with like, you know, different people talking wrestling. I'm just like, I want to do something like that. And then, yes, I did a couple different things, you know, because I wanted to be unique and stood out. But then when I thought about it more, like, you know what? People want me to go live, you know, after, you know, RAW or SmackDown or NXT, and even briefly 205 Live, and talk about the shows, rather than just me doing some random, you know, topic stream that basically after a while, when I used to do, my preview predictions used to be top 10 topics, WWE top 10 topics, which basically just turned into almost mostly doing a preview and predictions. Which is why in 2017, July of 2017 is when I started doing live reviews of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and like I said, for a brief time, 205 Live, and here and there, NXT UK. And back in those days, that was you know, a year after I graduated college. I was still trying to find my footing right now in my career at the time. I mean, yes, I still do my freelance video work on the side, but, you know, when I first lost my channel back in 2019, it was right before I started the job I work full-time now during the week, which is in customer service at a company that sells that sells to distributors promotional products, mainly drinkware and some awards. And there was a time where I didn't think I was going to get this channel back. I I mean, I miss talking wrestling and reviewing content, so I came up here to I came up to what's it called? I came up with the idea of using Periscope on Twitter. It just wasn't the same for me. It wasn't. And I fought to get my channel back. But at the time, I'm thinking, with this new job, maybe, I don't have the time for this anymore. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise that I lost the channel. But I didn't quit, and I eventually got my channel back at the end of February in 2020. Right before the pandemic hit and everything, and then just the world just went, crazy. And when I got it back, I was happy because I had OBS. I felt I had a lot more, things I could play around with, a lot more tools and whatnot. And I'm like, I want to create more content that, comes to my editing skills. I used a green screen for a while, and, like I said, I was having fun again. But then it's just like, you watch wrestling today, WWE, of course, specifically, and you know that it's a show made for an audience of one. When the WWE lost the audience, Vince McMahon decided to turn the WWE even more into his own playground. Piped in noises. Fans having to cheer the faces, boo the heels, not organic sounds, all that crap. And then the content just got worse. And worse. And worse. And when you don't have... And I'm going to say it straight up this way. WWE just should have taken a break. Taken a break during the pandemic. Allowed us to miss him. Instead, we have all this talent being built that they're full of themselves egos. Literally have to, control everything. Control crowd reactions and whatnot. Yes, AEW didn't have a crowd either, but AEW had wrestlers act like fans, and it felt organic because they were themselves. They weren't clapping every time someone supposed to be a good guy came out, or boo, and every time supposed to be a bad guy came out. That's not what happened. And then, so, it just, I literally couldn't take it anymore. And, I remember, it was around Christmas. I remember my new girlfriend and I were talking, and I was saying how, I kind of wish I could do some other stuff on my channel, have more time for it. She goes, why don't you come back on your wrestling streams? I'm like, my problem is I like to be consistent. I enjoy being consistent and starting something, and, and I'm a person who doesn't like to leave unfinished business on the table. Even though, technically, each review, I don't have to review every single episode of RAW, SmackDown, NXT. But I'm like, no, I want to keep the content consistent. I know if I took a break one time that I would never do it again. But then I thought, maybe it's just work. Because Christmas time where I work at is brutal. But then, of course, pandemic is ending, even though there's a variant out right now, and, there's rumors that things may be getting shut down again. I'm going to AEW Dynamite this coming week on Wednesday, and we have to wear masks inside the Pearson Event Center. So that, first off, was one thing that kind of just wore me out. And I was like, ah. But when I first started doing these reviews, there's reviews I'd be up here for an hour and a half, 45 minutes maybe also, if that. There was just always a lot to talk about. Even if the show was bad, the content that was there was content that was meant to discuss wrestling. Now it feels like I'm just going in circles. I'm going in circles. The same exact matches are happening. The same exact crap is happening. But what's made it even more depressing to watch, especially for WWE, is the fact that everyone's getting released. The releases this week is what drained me out. The booking recently of your NXT champion Karrion Kross has worn me out. The fact that nothing has changed has worn me out. The fact that some of the big names, their contract's about to expire, they're about to get out of here. They're about to get out of here and everything. And with all these releases, the stuff from last year with the whole Black Wednesday stuff on April 15th, I get it. But then, when you have like 5, 6 batches of wrestlers that's getting released, you look at this roster and like, what's left? Like, that's what, I'm also a big fan of baseball. But I haven't really been watching baseball much past couple years because most of the only ones I get to watch consistently is the Pirates. And the Pirates literally have like no one on their team that I even know of. And the few that I do know of, they all suck. Except for Brian Reynolds and, Key Brian Hayes, my boy Homer today, and everything. And I stopped watching baseball constantly because like there's no point. And I'm feeling the same way about wrestling right now. Mainly WWE. AEW, I'm enjoying. Like, this past week's episode, yeah, it wasn't the best episode, but I couldn't hate it either because there was stuff on the show that actually made sense. Some stuff that actually moved a story forward. Malachi Black, for crying out loud, squashed Cody Rhodes and looked like a god in the process. We have Hangman Adam Page getting a long-term story where, yes, he's not getting a title shot now, but eventually he is going to, but it was written in a way that made me crave to see it happen. Look for more. Yes, Kenny Omega's fighting somebody else at All Out. But Hangman Adam Page is lingering around. Yeah, they made a story that WWE would make predictable, not predictable. We don't know when Hangman Adam Page at this point is going to get that world title match on AEW. On WWE, it'd be obvious. Like, I sit down and think, how many times do I actually pop? Like, do I get super duper excited? Like the excitement I got when, on my live reactions, when Big E won the Money in the Bank, when Bianca Belair won the Women's Royal Rumble, when Sting debuted at AEW Winter is Coming last year, at Road Rager, when Malachi Black debuted, only a month after his WWE contract expired. How many times do I really pop anymore? I remember when I first started watching wrestling, I'd be all fired up for Daniel Bryan. I'd be all fired up for CM Punk. I'd be all fired up for The Shield when they were hot and feuding with Evolution. I was still new to, understanding the whole business. Yeah, but I was excited. How many times do I really sit there at night, watch this content, and then like jumping on my seat going, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. But truth be told, I'm not. I'm really not anymore, especially with WWE. And then this past week happens. Let's talk about a few things that have happened within the last week or two. Well, first off, the crowd's coming back. The crowd's coming back, and I thought things would get better because things would be more organic. Nope, it's not. We still have piped-in noises. You know how I can prove that? Go back to Raw this past week and show Drew McIntyre's entrance. You clear as day hear Michael Cole saying 16-time world champion. So they're piping in noises. They can't rely on their own audience because they know that their audience is not going to react the way Vince wants to. They're not. They're not going to react. So he still has got to control us. And then what I'm getting sick and tired of is, well, first off, also, then there's the news that, SummerSlam may get put back in the Thunderdome, which I'm like, great. What's the point about all this big hype then? It's just going to be back typical, crap again. Getting out of the Thunderdome was like getting out of like a job that you felt, for example, back in 2015, when I left my job at Burger King, I intended to come back after my internship ended. when my internship ended, I had no desire to go back to Burger King because I was happier and I hated working at Burger King. Basically, getting out of the Thunderdome was that same feeling. The thought of even going back to the Thunderdome just makes me miserable. And I'm like, if we go back to the Thunderdome, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. I hate these, controlling, crowd reactions, and just this whole idea that Vince thinks he can control everything on his show. Like I said, Vince McMahon and his shows is basically him taking a video game and playing on career mode and just like doing whatever he wants, editing everyone he wants, toning down the players he does not want to be good. It's like if I would go into my baseball video games and literally make everyone, edit all the players to basically be horrible, but then all my players have the best pitching, the best fielding. It basically be like that, rather than actually being open to creating new stars and realizing the talent and what the talent can bring to the table. That's not the case. We have Nikki Cross stooping down to Vince McMahon's level, dressing them up in some type of an outfit that is on the borderline of the clown costumes they wanted the Revival to wear. And the whole Mighty Mouse gimmick they were going to do for Neville, and people it'd be on the same level as in 2017 when Miz and Dean Ambrose were feuding, and Dean Ambrose was in a freaking bear costume. Miz's tag team partner was a bear. Someone dressed up in a bear costume. Is that entertaining or what? This is not a kid's show. I've said this from the beginning. This is not a kid's show, but WWE wants to appeal to kids. And I love kids. I want to be a father someday. But this content's not meant for little 5-year-olds to be watching, or like I said, I feel like sometimes too. This is how I feel like watching WWE. Gonna tease you. Here it is. Oh, can't get it. Oh, gonna get it. So, basically, coming back to fans was a reality check that nothing has changed. Fans or no fans, Vince, Bruce, Nick Khan, Kevin Bucktooth Dunn is all going to continue to troll with us and control everything as long as it's in their vision. That's all they're going to do. And then we have superstars recently. MVP, Ronda Rousey, Dolph Ziggler, blaming fans, going on Twitter and bashing fans. And let me put something out there. I get it. There's some people that are fickle. There are some fans that are impossible to satisfy. I'll be honest, sometimes I feel like at times I can be an impossible fan to satisfy. I'm going to be honest and say that. I don't ask for everything I see to happen, but all I ask for is I don't turn on my TV and I watch shows where it feels like that you're purposely trying to insult our intelligence. And I still feel like, especially since the fans come back, our intelligence is being more and more insulted. There's match rules that are changing. There's, ways of getting title matches that are, changing all the time. Either, you gotta actually win a match to earn it, or if you won an opportunity, all you had to do was ask. I hate that one so much. Or, there's the constant, you pinned her, not me, so I technically didn't lose the match. Well, guess what? You did, because it's a stinking triple threat match or a multi-man match. I am so sick of that excuse being used. There's champions that lose clean all the time, for crying out loud, in non-title matches. I'm sorry. Champions contenders match. I'm almost a superhero. I almost beat the best. Well, you're supposed to be considered the best because you had the championship. So nothing's changed. Then and again, there's superstars like Ronda Rousey, Dolph Ziggler, going on to Twitter, blaming fans, blah blah blah. Why are we supposed to want to watch you perform if all you're going to do is just bash your fans, call them pathetic, call them super idiots or whatnot, you know, like, that's just like, it's just like, you know, it's like a customer wanting to do business, but then they complain about you. It's like, well, if you don't like me, why am I supposed to do business with you? If wrestlers don't value the fans, why should we get invested in you? Yeah, I get it. Maybe, you know, some of them might do it for the heat, but, you know, when you're Ronda Rousey and you're home pregnant and probably never coming back to wrestle again, why are you going on there bashing fans? Dolph Ziggler calls fans pathetic, yet we popped for him like crazy in 2014. We got behind you and begged WWE to give you a shot, and every time they do, it was just like, oh, okay, we got it. Go back to normal. Just do your normal crap. Like, we stick our neck out, for God's sake. Then they have the guts to come back at us and just literally just trash us. And I'm just like, why should we even want to see you succeed anymore? Like, why would, at this point, you want, even though, again, he had how many opportunities to leave, why would at this point we want to see a guy like Dolph Ziggler go to AEW and, you know, get the push and get the booking that he needs to be? And then, to put icing on the cake, the biggest reason why I feel these changes need to be made, why I came to this sense of, like, it's time changes have to be made to this channel, is NXT. The releases that happened this week. Listen to the names on these releases right now. Let me pull this up and let me just literally tell you how many releases we got going on right here. We have some guys that I have no clue who they are. Ari Sterling, who's that? Asher Hale, who's that? So them, whatever. Desmond Troy, sounds familiar, but I don't remember them. Giant Zangier, who's that? One I'm cool with is Kona Reeves. Like, I was never a fan of Kona Reeves. When was the last time he was even on TV? He basically was NXT's Epico and Primo. Like, he went missing, he was still under contract, yet he did absolutely nothing for how long? Even on TV, he did nothing for me either. So that one, I'm not going to complain about. Steven Smith, a referee, who knows? It's Zachariah Smith. But then we have guys like Leon Ruff, who was literally... Well, okay, I'm okay with Leon Ruff also. He was a jobber that was given the North American Championship with Johnny Gargano. And like I said, I'm not a fan of Johnny Gargano's heel run, so him losing it to Leon Ruff to me was just pointless. It didn't make him a star to begin with anyways. We have like Jake Atlas, who I actually was kind of a fan of, but, you know, 205 Live. And actually, let me go to this also. I don't know if, you know, they just don't want to put people under anymore, or why does he have a tab? When you go to the WWE app, look at the 205 Live roster. There's 4 people listed under the 205 Live roster on the app. The Brian Kendrick, who I thought retired a year ago. Mark Andrews, who's in NXT UK and hasn't even wrestled on 205 Live since the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament in 2018. Nigel McGuinness, a commentator, and Santos Escobar. The only actual wrestler is Santos Escobar. Now, I know there's probably guys like Kushida, of course, who's the Cruiserweight Champion, Roderick Strong, who is looking to be, you know, the face of the Cruiserweight division, even though, one, why even be a face of a division that literally has nobody in it anyways? At this point, what's the point of the women's tag titles? There's no point in the Cruiserweight Championship. There's no point in the 24/7 Championship. Why do all those titles even exist at this point? And also, speaking of Roderick Strong, what's the point of Diamond Mine now? Because Tyler Rust, who was kind of like the young one in his protege, got released. Is that his Hideki Suzuki even wrestling? Like, what's the point of Diamond Mine now, since he released Tyler Rust for no reason? He was also on the list. So there's all those pointless divisions, because like I said, there's nobody here. Everybody's getting released because of budget cuts. Well, if there's these budget cuts, then why do we even have 3 shows? Why not just have 1 show? And then we have also on this list, who also was released that I didn't talk about yet. Bobby Fish! Bobby Fish! The fourth member of Undisputed Era got released. He's the only one I feel like this hasn't found any direction as a single star ever since the split. And yes, he keep this in mind, Bobby Fish got injured a lot. They had Roderick Strong get brought into the UE just to, fill a spot basically for him. We have that. So he basically got, once he was on his own, it's like he had no direction. He had nothing to do. So they released him. Then there's two more on here. I'm leaving one for last purposely. Mercedes Martinez. Mercedes Martinez was in a women's battle royale at one of the AEW shows when AEW first came around. Why did she not just sign with them and stay there? They brought her to WWE and NXT. They gave her a few wins, yeah. But then, before she even get momentum going, she lost to Rhea Ripley in a steel cage match. Gets called up, was put in Retribution, brought back, and they did not much with her. Recently, she was in a random-ass feud with Xia Li, just because Xia Li lost to her in the Mae Young Classic. She didn't even get a shot. Now she's released, head back to AEW. Honestly, you should have just stayed there in the first place. And the biggest one out of all of them that surprised me, Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed, who you just pushed as North American Champion. Rumored to be calling him up to the main roster. He's gone, and I'm like, then what was the point of giving him the title? I'm sure there's more backstage news to this as well, but all I'm reading right now is stuff about, Triple H and Shawn Michaels had nothing to do with this. They had nothing to do with this. This is all budget cuts, all Vince McMahon. And now I'm hearing also not just releases, I'm hearing also now that Adam Cole could be on his way out. Apparently his contract expired in July, but he agreed to at least stay to finish out his program with Kyle O'Reilly, which will probably wrap up in some sort of a match at TakeOver 36, which I still have not been able to do my card predictions for, and I kind of don't want to right now, but I'm still going to do them, because any changes that I make on this channel is not going to go into effect until after SummerSlam. Until SummerSlam, everything is staying the same. But, there's Adam Cole, who's looking to not re-sign. Which, I've heard Vince apparently had a meeting with him, and he wants him to come to RAW or SmackDown. He's going to pay him $1 million, apparently. I'm like, don't do it. Look what they did to Karrion Kross. That's the thing, too. I was trying so hard to get my fandom back for NXT. But in the moment they call up Karrion Kross to the main roster, take away his entrance, take away Scarlett, and have him lose to Jeff Hardy in his debut match as NXT champion, that completely killed any faith I had with NXT getting back on its roots. Because I don't care about TakeOver 36. I don't care anymore about Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross. The only match I care about, which is why I'm watching NXT UK right now, is Walter and Ilya Dragunov. And to be honest, even watching that show right now, not much is happening in NXT UK right now either. So yes, Walter and Dragunov are going to have an excellent pay-per-view match, because they had an excellent match on NXT UK back on October 29th last year. But it's like after that, it's like, well, who's Ilya Dragunov going to fight now? Who's Walter going to feud with? Who's Samoa Joe going to wrestle after he probably beats Karrion Kross for the NXT Championship? Because apparently, according to Vince does not want any more old midgets in NXT. And apparently Triple H is not even going to be in charge of NXT after TakeOver 36. They're going to be rebranded. They're going to be focusing on newer and younger talent. It's Vince's vision. Is this to punish, because a lot of people are saying this, but is this to punish NXT because, one, for years we were saying how NXT was better than RAW and SmackDown. I'm sure that drove Vince nuts. But is this also because NXT could not beat AEW in the Wednesday Night Wars. The so-called non-competition. Last week on AEW, when Cody Rhodes made his speech at the end of the show, he flat out said that we are competition. We're not an alternative, but we are competition. So, Vince basically ended NXT. Because, let's start mentioning the changes now. As of right now, NXT TakeOver 36 feels like a series finale for me. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to watch it live because of the plans I have for that day, but I'm going to watch TakeOver 36, but after that, we put it this way. If nothing really, which I'm expecting it not to, if nothing really matters at the end of SummerSlam, or at the end of TakeOver 36, then things are going to change on this channel. I am tired of coming up here. Again, I love you guys, and the thing that makes this hard, again, is the fact that wrestling has been the core content of my channel since I started doing more and more on this back in like 2014, 2015. I was spacing out, printed match cards here and there. I was, spacing out video game reviews because I was still in college back then. And I was busy at times too. I wasn't able to do things all the time. But, ever since I came back to my channel in February 2020, again, life's different for me. I don't have time to do top 10 specials anymore. I don't have time to keep up with my video game reviews. I do not have time to review shows right after they take place. If I was able to, that'd probably make things a lot easier. Even back around WrestleMania, I was already considering, maybe making these changes I'm going to be making. But then, I gave post-WrestleMania week a chance, and I realized, the only shows that I'm seeing that I'm not really enjoying is Raw. And I literally just, for weeks, was just recapping Raw. And now lately, I feel like with how much busier I've been at work and everything, I feel like I'm just recapping shows, not reviewing them. Or I'm coming up in here saying, yeah, this happened, good night. And I hate it! Like, I miss the 1 hour and a half reviews I used to do where we all talk wrestling non-stop. Now I talk wrestling, I feel like I'm just going in circles. I'm going in circles talking about the same thing. That's why I literally come here and say, yeah, this person won, that's it. And I hate it. And, guys, there is much more things I enjoy in life besides wrestling. So, even though I know this is the core content, I'm going to have to start cutting back on wrestling after SummerSlam. I'm still going to talk. Here's my plan. Like I said before, first off, NXT TakeOver 36 is going to feel like my NXT series finale. It's going to be a completely different show after TakeOver 36. And it's going to be in Vince McMahon's eyes. To me, it's going to feel like watching Main Event or 205 Live. I'm going to catch up on NXT UK, and I'm going to just follow NXT up until TakeOver 36. But after that, I'm done with NXT. NXT, I'm done with. I'm done. It's turned into just a third brand, WWE's ECW. It's not the same anymore. Who's there going to be after TakeOver 36? I mean, I'll, peek at the highlights, but I'm not going to review NXT after TakeOver 36. I don't even know if I'll even ever watch another TakeOver again after TakeOver 36. Main roster? Here's the thing about the main roster. My friend points out to me, the pay-per-views have not been that bad. They've not been the best ever, but they're watchable. So, I'm definitely going to still do, preview and predictions and, pay-per-view reviews for the main roster. NXT, probably not. Unless if, I hear about some must-see thing that I keep my distance from, absence make the heart go stronger, grow fonder, maybe I'll actually want to check out NXT sometime. But right now, I have no desire, because it's literally a show that Vince is punishing for stupid reasons, because the man is full of his freaking ego. So NXT is basically going to be cut from this channel completely. As for my other reviews, the only show that I plan on reviewing weekly after SummerSlam, and hopefully it's just temporary, is Dynamite. I mean, I'm going to check out Rampage, but I'm not going to review Rampage. I'm going to at least review Dynamite. If there's stuff that happened on Rampage, I will talk about that, in just like a topic video, or even like, in a Dynamite review for the following week. And then Raw, SmackDown reviews. I'm just going to... The only time after SummerSlam I will start doing Raw or SmackDown reviews again is if the show was actually worth it. I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to always keep up with Raw or SmackDown. Like, I can't tell you the last time I've actually sat down and actually watched an episode of SmackDown, because it's on a Friday night. Half the time I want to go out on Friday nights and have fun with my friends. That's why when we do half the time. I do have the time. Like this Friday, I was with my girlfriend. She's like, "If you want to try and rush me, watch it." And I said, "It's okay, because there's nothing really noteworthy I'm catching." The only time I've ever asked is there's something like that's going that I want to see, and it's not that often. Like, the only show that I actually do get the time to sit down and watch, if I want to, is Raw. It's on a Monday night. I don't feel like doing anything special on Monday nights, unless it's like really the only day I can do something special. And I half the time am asleep by 9:30 because I'm bored to death. I'm bored. There's nothing there. Like, so Raw and SmackDown reviews could maybe just be doing like a talking points video once a week, talking about stuff that happened in wrestling this week in WWE, if I want to even check it out. Because I'd rather leave time to do some stuff that I know I'm enjoying right now, like AEW, or my video game Let's Plays, or talk about baseball, or I've been saying this for months, I want to do sitcom reviews. Like, during a time like this, especially where I've been having some rough months at work recently with everything going on, the shortage of glass, shortage of products, longer lead times for production and whatnot, I've pulled out shows like Family Matters, laughed my ass off about the littlest things. But I've laughed my ass off and I've had fun. I played, some new games on my Switch that I'm enjoying. I've, like I said, so there's more to the life of DaMan that I want to share besides just wrestling. I mean, I don't want to quit wrestling. I want to still watch wrestling, but I just want to tone back on it. I want to tone back on it and not make it about every single thing I need to do for the whole week. I want to do sitcom reviews, and I've had the first one I want to do in mind for months. And if I do not start it by post-SummerSlam, I'm starting those reviews post-SummerSlam. And then, like I said, I'm not quitting wrestling. I'm going to still come talk wrestling. Heck, maybe I'll have time to do top 10s again. I miss top 10s. I enjoy doing top 10s. I just don't have the time for them right now because of work. So if I leave a little more time, I can do a top 10 special. I can, do a retro live reaction. I didn't do it, but with it being the 10-year anniversary, I wanted to do a live reaction video to John Cena and CM Punk at SummerSlam 2011. Because it was an excellent match. I didn't get to experience it live in person. I've watched it already before. I want to watch it again and do live reactions for it because of the moment it was. I want to do reviews of the 24 specials on the network, because those are awesome. Okay, that's expressing content, but basically I want to talk about things that actually have things to talk about. And I'll come up here and go, okay, this happened, good night. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to come up here and actually talk wrestling. Have a conversation like I am now. Not sitting here just like, this happened, good night. So, this could be just me being burned out. I mean, and yes, I do feel burned out. Like I said, with all these releases, I don't know who to even look forward to. Like I said, WWE is like the Pittsburgh Pirates to me. There's nobody on the team that I recognize, nobody I can get behind, nobody that I can watch. Well, okay, besides Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds, I'd say for the Pirates, is someone that's must-see for me. Everybody else, I don't even know who they are. So, that's the changes I'm making. NXT TakeOver 36 is it for me for NXT. I'm done watching NXT. I'm not going to be watching this new product that's going to be just Vince's vision of NXT. Young big men, not 30-year-old midgets, as he basically said in a report from whoever reported it. So no more NXT after TakeOver 36, and then no more consistent, weekly reviews for now for WWE content. Again, we'll do like a talking points video throughout the week. That'll probably just go into my special streams playlist. But like, if somehow a good episode of RAW or SmackDown happens, yes, then I will do a review. And that, I'm still gonna do pay-per-view preview predictions and pay-per-view reviews. I'm still gonna do those. Match cards, I don't know. Match cards, I used to get thousands of views on my match cards. The past few I've done, I'd be lucky if I even cracked 100. My SummerSlam one only has 30 views on it. SummerSlam! Those are ones I used to get a lot of views on. Heck, the highest views I ever got on a match card was Roadblock End of the Line. I got 40,000 freaking views on it. I do those. I like playing around with graphics, but they're not doing anything for me anymore. So I don't know about match cards. Turn Alert, that's staying. But just weekly reviews, I want a break. I'm hoping this is not a permanent thing for this channel. I want this. I basically just want to make the heart grow fonder. Me miss it. Me desire to do these reviews again. And I don't know how long that could be. I don't know if I would ever get the desire to, want to do like 4 reviews a week of 4 different wrestling shows or whatnot. Besides AEW, like I said, AEW reviews I'm going to continue to do for Dynamite. But that time's just come. That time has just come that, addiction to me being, to me being, the addiction to me, wanting to be consistent, I have to let go. I have to let go, and, I just want to do something different. I want to be able to have more time to do something different. And if I'm talking about, mostly wrestling all week, I'm literally just wasting my time, it feels like, anymore. I appreciate, anybody in the live chat, everyone who has, made this channel grow and possible. Again, it's just for fun, but just the fact that, I have an audience that supports me still means something. So, I said this in the description, I'm going to continue to talk wrestling. Not as much, but I want to also do other things on this channel besides wrestling. I hope whatever it is, I hope you guys continue to support me. Like I said, the biggest thing I want to do is sitcom reviews. There's plenty of shows. I want to name a few that I want to review. I want to review Family Matters. I want to review, this is not a sitcom, but I would like to review Law and Order Special Victims. I'm a huge fan of that show, and I binge watched literally the whole thing, and of course up to a Peacock, so I can do that. I want to do movie reviews on the Harry Potters, because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. There's Family Matters I want to do. I'm still binge watching Friends. I want to talk Friends. There's Seinfeld. There's might make fun of me, but Full House and Fuller House. house because I was a big fan of those, and back in middle school I would still watch them. What else do I freaking even got behind me over here? There's a Canadian sitcom that I love watching, Corner Gas, that I want to do reviews on those as well. Like, there's a lot of other things I enjoy talking about, a lot of other things I'm passionate about, and I just want to leave more time for those things. I can still talk wrestling, just not all the time. So, like I said, and actually, I'll say it right now. Oh, and also, The Big Bang Theory. That's not the first one I want to do, but that's another one I want to do sitcom reviews on. But, I'll say this. I did mention the one I'm going to do first in that list of sitcoms I just gave. But yeah, I had a lot I needed to get off my chest. You know, again, the releases, Adam Cole and Pete Dunne getting ready to leave. You know, NXT basically coming to an end was the nail in the coffin for me. Like, there's nothing really to talk about right now with WWE. I hope at some point it is, because to me, it feels like WWE is just dying. It feels like WWE is slowly going out of business. I don't know if you guys who've watched WCW, you know, feel like it's the same way, but like I said, it just feels like, I feel like I'm watching a company crumble. All these releases, all this, you know, this continuous, you know, repetitive booking, showing that obviously that Vince does not care whatsoever. Like I said, I just want to be able to bring fun content and not half-ass content to this channel again. And like I said, it's just it wasn't an easy decision, but it's just something I thought about for the past few days. I mean, again, it's been off and on. Again, I was feeling this way around WrestleMania, but until SummerSlam, things are going to stay the same they are now. But unless if for some miraculous reason, some miraculous thing happens at SummerSlam or NXT TakeOver 36, I don't see myself keeping up with the consistency on this channel after SummerSlam. And I'm hoping it's just a break, because I do enjoy the content I do on it. I've enjoyed the content I do on this channel, but the stuff I'm doing now, I'm just burned out. And like I said, maybe I need a couple months to, you know, just do something different, refresh myself, make the heart grow fond, and make me want to, you know, come back here and do, you know, weekly reviews on all these wrestling shows again. So that's the changes I'm looking to make post SummerSlam. That's the plan going forward. No, I am not quitting YouTube. I don't want to ever quit YouTube, unless if it's like I literally have to. If it's like, you know, I'm a father, I have to take care of kids, it might be tough. Then I might have to leave YouTube. But I'm not leaving YouTube. Like I said, when I lost my channel 2 summers ago, I was really down. And like I said, I hope you guys continue to support me in whatever content I share on this channel, whether it's wrestling, video games, sitcoms, baseball, random nonsense. This channel has always been me sharing who I am through anything that I'm passionate about. And I just hope you guys continue to, you know, support me. I've made some really good friends over the years with this channel. It's just time for a change. And I'm hoping it's just temporary. So we'll see what happens at SummerSlam and post SummerSlam. And we'll go from there. Got a lot of people in the live chat. It's a lot of comments there. Tyler saying how wrestling is not fun anymore since 2006 to him. Been disappointed with the release since 2007. Vince needs to retire. Have fun with AEW. Toxic Coda, which I'm guessing is Dakota, he says how he doesn't think it's Vince. He saw something in Roman Reigns, and now look, Roman is the biggest thing in wrestling today. And you know what? He is. But he's one of the few things that wrestling is good for, that WWE at least is worth watching. Nothing matters except for what Roman Reigns does in WWE. I mean, they fixed the Roman Reigns problem, but everything else is just shit all around it. In my opinion, of course. AEW is worse. They botch so much. Yes, AEW is not perfect, but they at least have, to me personally, they have me hooked. They have me interested in the product, which is why I want to continue to at least stay consistent with there. And another thing too is I want to be able to, focus more on AEW, since that's the product that's making me excited about wrestling right now. NXT is weak as hell. Oh, NXT again is dead. It is dead to me. Dakota misses the mystery hacker angle, which could have been good if they went through with it. Hangman will dethrone him. Yes, Hangman will dethrone Kenny Omega, but now we don't know when it could be. We don't know when it could be. With AEW, could Paige apologize to the Young Bucks, then eventually find out that Omega told Paige to cost the Bucks a title shot, then Paige and the Bucks versus Omega and the Good Brothers, which would be a good way to build a story. That's simple, but it makes sense. Exactly, TN Couponer. Taz Raw is trash. Buddy Murphy is all elite. Nice. Bronson Reed got caught too. Yep. Like I said, that one out of all those releases surprised me the most, was Bronson Reed. Shane Triple H need to be in charge. They do. And that's another man who should be flipping out right now is Triple H, because Vince McMahon basically buried his creation. So why would Triple H even want to continue to work with him when he's doing that? SmackDown is bland. All the shows are bland. When Ziggler said that on Twitter, it's because he is staying in character. Could be, I don't know. I just never know anymore. But, you could be right on that, Dakota. Fish goes back to Ring of Honor, probably. Mercedes think either AEW or Ring of Honor. Reed, I think, goes to Impact. Works for me. Kyle versus Cole could be the first Hell in a Cell match, which I like. Let's see, Walter versus Samoa Joe. That'd be good. That actually would be a good match. Raw is trash, NXT is weak, and SmackDown is bland. Vince only cares about himself. Survivor Series needs to stop. Tyler agrees. Pete Dunne and Adam Cole are going to AEW or Weight Lesson. Not sure what Weight Lesson means. And TV Brothers will stay subscribed to you, my friend. I appreciate that. Wow. 53 minutes. I miss content like that where I can literally just talk through and actually have an actual conversation without going like, yeah, this happened, goodbye. I want discussion. I want, something more worth talking about. So, I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, this week and next week, everything is staying the same. Nothing is changing until after SummerSlam. Unless if for some miraculous reason, SummerSlam blows me out of the water, and same with TakeOver 36. But if not, those changes go into effect right after that. So, that does it, guys. I love you all. Again, whatever content comes to this channel, I hope you will always continue to support me. Good night, everybody.